IBG was one of the first institutes for behavior genetics. It started in 1967. And so it has a long and storied history in the field of behavior genetics. It's interested in understanding the sources of individual differences in behavior.
And we do that on two main branches. We have the animal side that is really trying to understand how these genes are functioning, what specifically they're doing, and the human side that's more interested in identifying the genes across the human genome that influence different traits that we want to better understand so that we can help develop interventions better. Things like substance use traits, psychiatric outcomes, and cognitive aging.
At the IBG, there are a lot of experts that work here as faculty in the field of behavioral genetics. So you're getting to learn from some of the best in the field here.
IBG brings in something around like $10 million per year in grant funding and has published probably since its inception well over 1,000 research papers.
We study executive functions. And executive functions are the high-level cognitive control processes that enable you to sort of control your thoughts and actions. So for example, if you were in a busy room and trying to focus on reading something, ignoring all of the things going on around you, that would require executive functions to do that. And so executive functions are related to a lot of different outcomes, life outcomes, as you could imagine. Things like mental health, academic performance, all sorts of different outcomes that you might care about.
Well, I'd like to think that the long-term potential impact of our work would be to be able to identify improved treatments for individuals who are suffering from addiction. My lab does a lot of animal behavioral methods where the animals are tested for their responses or self-administration of particular drugs. We also do molecular methods like PCR and gel electrophoresis and DNA quantification, isolation of DNA from tissue samples.
My lab's really focused on recognizing that most of the human traits that we study genetically overlap to a pretty significant degree. And so the idea is, how can we develop methods that allow us to begin to understand both what is shared across these different traits and what's unique to these traits? What makes something show up different in terms of what we observe? And at the same time, what are these sorts of things that maybe we don't observe that overlap underneath the skin in our DNA?
Well, I think there are a lot of things that make IBG a unique place to work. First of all, I think we have really outstanding staff and faculty and students who are very collegial and really dedicated to working together and providing a collaborative environment for all of us, which is really important for students to feel like they could really go to any IBG faculty member and receive good support and good advice about whatever it is they're doing.
I think what makes IBG unique is the breadth of methods and topics that we focus on, the interdisciplinary nature of our research personnel. So we have faculty from across different departments within the university and people using all sorts of different methods.
As we enter this new era of big data and team science, people working together to better understand these enormous data sets that we've collected, it's really helpful to be able to walk down the hall and talk to a colleague about the different questions that you're thinking about, or walk into a work meeting and have everyone in that meeting be collectively trying to understand the same thing, namely how genetics influence our behavior. For a student at IBG, you can expect to get exposed to all types of genetic work from both the animal and the human side. And I think whether you happen to be on either side of that, human or animal, that exposure is really important to being able to interpret the sort of full corpus of work that's being produced by the behavioral genetics field.
I've learned so much from the faculty here, from our weekly journal clubs, and from my coursework. And so I've found my graduate experience with training has been very well-rounded due to all the resources here at IBG and the faculty.
The IBG makes sure that you are going to conferences as well, internationally or nationally, so that you can make those connections and get practice with different areas of the scientific field, such as poster presentations and talks.
Here at IBG, we're committed to creating an environment that's respectful and inclusive. I think we also recognize the benefits that diversity brings to the research process and to the research team, including the need for diverse perspectives.
Finally, in addition to all the wonderful academic resources, you can't really beat living in Colorado.